Residents of a West Lethbridge neighborhood say a fire early Tuesday morning could have been a lot worse. Firefighters responded to one fire and police were searching for suspects when they came across a second blaze, which destroyed a garage, damaged several other structures, and killed a dog. 15-year-old boy is facing charges in what the homeowners are calling a needless and senseless tragedy. Terry Vogt reports.
Says he was working up north when his girlfriend called to tell him the bad news, that their garage had been destroyed in an overnight fire.
And she was crying because she knew the dog was in there.
I saw the orange glow outside my window and I knew then that something big was happening.
Charlene Strubb was jolted awake by a police officer pounding on her door. Police had been called to the area to investigate an earlier fire in a garbage bin a few blocks away. They were cruising the neighborhood alleys when they came across the burning garage.
That was the first thing I said to the officer, was that my dog was in there, and he said, we can't get in there, we can't get her out. But it was still very hard having that feeling, knowing I can't do anything to save her.
Their dog Dakota was a 5.5-year-old pit bull cross. Strubb says she was spoiled and happy and had a good life.
At this point right now, it's still mostly anger because it was so senseless. It didn't need to happen. She didn't need to die.
Police say 2 people were seen fleeing the garage fire. One, a 15-year-old boy, was located nearby and is now facing charges of arson, disregard for human life, and causing unnecessary suffering to an animal.
Lots of times people they don't realize the consequence of what they've done. They think it's just going to be a small fire, they'll light 1 or 2 or 3, and then the next thing you know, it extends into a garage, into a home, and you know, we've lost an animal in this case. What happens next when we lose a home and there's someone in the home?
Sometimes they just don't realize the damage they're really causing, whether it was intentional or not.
I could care less at this point about the material possessions. It's the fact that my dog is gone. You can't replace her.
Strubb says she's glad the teen is charged with more than just arson, but is still concerned that because he's a minor, he may not get the punishment he deserves. Terry Vogt, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Police confirm the second individual will not be charged. Damage is pegged at around $60,000, but that could be a conservative estimate. Meanwhile, 2 young boys, ages 7 and 8, are responsible for starting a fire last night that caused damage to a shed and storage shed outside a North Lethbridge apartment building. Firefighters responded to the Winston Villa apartments just before 9. Investigators say a couch had been lit on fire and the flames spread to a nearby shed. Residents fought the blaze with fire extinguishers and scrambled to move a vehicle parked nearby. Damage is estimated at around $1,500. The boys, age 7 and 8, are too young to be charged, but they have been referred to the Juvenile Fire Setter program in hopes they can learn something from this experience.
Fire play for children is not uncommon. It's quite common, and often it's just a very short experience in their childhood. So we bring the child in, we sit down and work with the parent and guardian, and establish a program for them to help understand what are some of the behaviors that are negative, and how to get around those behaviors, and working with them as well.
Fire officials say the goal is to make sure the children understand the consequences of fire so they don't repeat their behavior. Now, these stories have really lit up our CTV Lethbridge Facebook page. Here are some of the comments we've received so far. Deanna posted, maybe parents just need to actually be held responsible for their children's actions. Leah wrote, they're little kids. Kids get curious and do some dumb things sometimes. While Alexandra feels the Young Offenders Act needs to be abolished. The kids need to serve punishment. They know right from wrong at that age. And Susan says, stop protecting these children. A little public humiliation, like in my day, would go a long way to teaching them some respect. You can check out more on our CTV Lethbridge Facebook page.